Hello everyone, welcome to round 5 of my career mode. I am LoveSpuds and this is the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. And first things first, a hot lap from Mr. Davidson.
Here we are, a lap of Catalunya in Spain. Opening up this lap in qualifying, you want to maximise that final chicane to make sure you get a good run onto the start-finish straight. DRS and KERS available at this point. The pits on your right-hand side. And now look to the left-hand side because the brake marker boards are coming up. The 100-metre board there on the left-hand side, brake from 7th down into 3rd gear. Try and get that curb on the right-hand side. The car often understeers from you before the track rises again through turn 3. A great corner, full throttle, and feed the car onto the green stuff as well on the exit for good measure to maximise the corner. Now down through the box into 3rd and 2nd gear for the apex of turn 4 itself. Let the car run out wide on the exit and the track dips down the hill towards turn 5. Very easy to lock the left-hand front tyre into there as it's unloaded. Now down the hill towards turn 7. Use the right-hand side of the track as much as you can to open up the corner through there and turn 8 as well itself. Up the hill now towards turn 9, a quick burst of DRS and let the car run out wide onto the AstroTurf to maximise this straight. A potential overtaking spot come race day. 100-metre board, brake down from 7th into 2nd, sometimes 1st gear as well depending on how worn your tyres are. Now open up the throttle through turn 11. Gets a bit twitchy through there sometimes as well if you're running a heavy fuel load. Turn 12, got to be patient, not too much curb on the exit, and now into this final tricky chicane to get right. You have to be patient here too. Not too much curb, that will upset the balance of the car, and not too much exit curb as well, because you want to keep it full throttle around this final corner. DRS open once more, and that's a lap of Catalunya.
And indeed that is a lap of Catalunya, and you're going to see another one, my qualifying lap. This is Legend difficulty qualifying. Race is professional level, so there's going to be a bit of disparity, or if that's the word I'm thinking of, between the performances of the cars. Now I consider this to be one of my favourite tracks, and to not do well at it, well, that annoyed me a little bit. But as you can see, my times aren't too bad. You know, the odd mistake here and there, which, you know, is pretty normal for me. But oh, there's Kobayashi going off straight off into the gravel, which did help quite a lot really, because I was only going to end up behind him in traffic like I usually do when I go on qualifying laps. Bit of a slide out there, going out the top here. Could have been a bit more brave going over the top of there, but you know, you don't always feel confident enough to do that. I do try my best round here because as I say, I do like the track. I think it's a nice mix of corners, you know, some high speed, some low speed. I don't like this final section though. I absolutely hate the chicane. I don't know why they bothered putting it in. I know it's for safety and all that, but whatevs. So I'm going to come round to the start-finish line, and if you want to see my time, you're better off pausing the video and seeing how relative I am to the other guys, because it doesn't stay there for long. About 2/10 off Ricciardo's time, so that was kind of annoying. I was expecting to be about, you know, at least 14th or something. That's my expectations. And here we are. We're starting. Vern, for some reason, backs off quite a bit and loses all those places. Oh, I've got Rosberg behind me as well. So we survived first corner pretty well. I backed off a little bit too early probably, but I'm going to fight back now. Being very aggressive on the four-cylinder of Hulkenberg there, so that's also sent me wide, and Rosberg is going to keep me out wide. In the middle of these two cars, Toro Rosso and De La Rosa is behind us in the HRT. He's done well. But moving up on the inside now. Slotting in behind Massa, bumping into Perez. I'm doing a lot of bumping into the back of people in these first laps because I'm not actually used. I'm not used to professional level yet. I don't expect them to brake quite as early as they do, so it sort of caught me out a little bit, but I'll get used to it eventually. As I say, this is professional level. The qualifying was on Legend. Now this is going to be my problem because oh, I'm losing my train of thought here. I'm going to see what I do to Massa first. And it's nothing kinky. So going around the outside of that corner. so I can be on the inside of this one. Outbrake myself a little bit there, but I'm in Massa's way, so he can't exactly do too much else. So yeah, as I say, I'm one of those people who is between legend and professional in my speed most of the time. So I'm going to be hopefully quite happy when they bring out the PS3 patch, if it hasn't come out already, because I haven't played it in a couple of days. Where they're going to change the professional level to make them slightly faster, which is fine by me really, because I don't, although it's nice to finish up front in maybe like 5th, 6th perhaps, I shouldn't really be there, apart from maybe this race where Maldonado did win it in real life, but my sort of area, I'd like to be around 10th, 9th, 8th, that sort of place finishing the race, because my season objective is to finish 10th, and I'd like to sort of meet it. I'd like to meet the objectives, but I'd like to be challenged to get to those objectives. And I don't want to be on legend and just finishing down in like 17th all the time, just because I can't keep up. So that's my reasoning behind changing. There's a bit of a slide there, but nothing too horrible. That's opened the door slightly to Massa, who's languishing down in 13th. He's sort of got his performances almost spot on, especially in the first half of the season. I mean, talking of Massa, he has actually just been re-signed for Ferrari. I mean, that's actually kind of old news, because it was like announced a couple of days ago. But I haven't made a video since then, so yeah, if you didn't know, you know now. Obviously Ferrari have seen enough in him, or he's done enough to warrant to stay at Ferrari for next year. I don't believe he's out of the woods yet though, because maybe they're giving him another year to see what he can do. If he does exactly what he did this year, next year, then you know they might rethink extending it any further, because he has done this for the past. I can't remember if he done it in 2010, but last year as well he didn't really pick up the pace until like after the midpoint of the season. So, you know, maybe if he can't be competitive at the start of the year next year, then maybe his seat will definitely be under threat, because we've got those young drivers coming up and through now, and Massa's time is slipping away from him to be champion, as it is with most of the front runners. So yeah, I mean, I do like the guy, I hope he does well, but he's got to try and hit the nail on the head, or be up to speed in the first part of the season, not just the second part of the season, because Ferrari do like a bit of consistency, but they also probably like the fact that Massa is the number 2 driver, and very much the number 2 driver, even though last weekend he was faster than Fernando. But yeah, Ferrari do like the fact that they have a number 1 and a number 2 driver, and it's very clear cut who they want to win. Not like somewhere like McLaren, where the drivers are pretty much equal and are allowed to fight for the win. But as I say, we'll see how that goes next year. Hopefully it will go well for him. I do want to see him do well. Did wonder if he'd changed slightly after his crash in 2009, but I don't know. Maybe not. He's still pretty speedy, so yeah. So back to this race in question. As you can see, I'm doing quite well. I'm not totally, I'm not up the front leading, which is fine by me, because I'm in a Williams. I shouldn't really be up there. You know, in all respect to the Williams, it's not that fast. Even though, as I say, Mr. Maldonado did manage to win, but he you know, I think he had the car set up perfectly, and he just got everything together. I don't think anyone else did. But yeah, I'm quite happy with 11th. I would like to move up a couple more places. I'm probably also a bit slower because of my tyre choice as well. I mean, that doesn't entirely help. my speed compared to theirs, but I am still sort of catching up on these prime tyres. I haven't actually mentioned yet, but I'm on the strategy, because I was outside the top 10 and didn't have to use the tyres I qualified on. I'm going for a long stint and then doing the last few laps on the options. So mixing it up a bit, seeing how it goes. I think it's the first time I've done that this season. So because I was pretty annoyed that I was 17th, to be frank. But I do believe this is one of my better tracks, if not the best track, in terms of knowledge of the circuit and, you know, where to brake and where to turn in and all that. But yes, I've completely lost what I was talking about. Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I mean, other tracks I'm not so successful on, but I do like to do my overtaking moves like that. Maldonado's running full revs, trying to get away from me, but it's not going to work with the traffic he's got in front of him. So it should allow me to close the gap up quite easily. I mean, obviously my target is to finish ahead of Pasta. So let's see what we can do. We're only about halfway through the race anyway, so... Well, we're not even halfway. Should I say halfway is around lap 8 or 9-ish. So, yeah, we're doing alright. Them lot will dive into the pits anyway. So what else has been going on in the F1 world? Let's have a look. See, I'm on the Formula 1 website, just looking at the news. I tend to go here for every now and then just to check up on the official news. I know there are plenty of other sites out there with all the gossip and that, but I just want to make sure my sources are pretty much correct. Oh yeah, marbles. These rubber marbles. Sometimes I don't understand why I'm getting them when I'm on the racing line on certain tracks. Because, well, I suppose there is a possibility of getting them. I mean, not all... You know, you're not always going to be completely clean on your tyres. But sometimes when I'm on the racing line, I end up picking up marbles anyway, and then obviously you lose grip. Doesn't affect the AI though, of course, no. Engineer rattling on about brake balance. But yes, so let's have a look at this. Oh yes, Susie Wolff, the Williams development driver, gets her first few laps behind the wheel of a proper Formula 1 car. Because she was at Silverstone on Wednesday as a part of a special promotional day for the team's partners. The other drivers were there as well, doing a bit of testing in old cars. Well, not testing, but they were showing off all the old Williams cars. It's good to see another woman behind the wheel of the F1 car. Well, my view on it is, as I change the brake balance to the front, as you can see, it didn't really help. Yeah, my view on women drivers is, well, to be honest, I don't really care what gender they are, as long if they're fast enough, then they're all welcome in my book. F1 did have a woman in Formula 1. I think it was a good few years ago now, well before I was born. She's done okay. She's done quite respectable, beat quite a few of the men, but she just didn't hang on in there. Didn't progress any further than she did. I can't recall the name off the top of my head, but there definitely was another woman driver who was actually driving in the races. But it's good to see a couple of new talent flooding in. It's a real shame about Maria de Villota when she crashed her Marussia car into the back of a lorry, I believe. She lost her eye and had serious skull damage because of that, but she recovered really, really well, and she was actually speaking the other week about, you know, getting back to life and re-evaluating her goals and all that. It's a real shame because, well, I think she probably could have done well, but Yeah, unfortunately, freak accidents like that do happen. I mean, it wasn't the car's fault. It was probably something she accidentally done. You know, I mean, accidents happen. I mean, not just it could have happened to anyone, not just because she's a woman. Some of you might think that, but you know, it's okay. As I say, I don't care what gender you are. If you can drive fast, then you're welcome in my eyes. So yes, as you've seen on screen, I've moved up to first position. That is only because they all jumped into the pits to change from the option to the prime tyre. So I don't think they'll get too much of a gap on me. They'll close up slightly because they're on fresher tyres, but eventually I've got to come into the pits to do my change to the option tyres, because for once it's not raining. Yeah, and it may not... About 4 seconds to the car behind. But yes, as you can see, it's not raining in this race, but it was raining in practice and qualifying. Definitely raining in practice when I was trying to do my aerodynamic tests. I have to say, I do like these new practice session tests. They're a good challenge, but sometimes they can be a bit frustrating. Especially in the wet, when you can hardly keep the thing on the circuit. But yeah, it's okay. It's definitely a lot more varied than last year. You're testing different bits of the car, doing different sorts of tests rather than just trying to beat a single lap time. Definitely improvement there. I still think they could have done with the 3 full practice sessions, but you know, I suppose it was just catering for the more arcadey people out there, people who don't have much patience and are not interested in setting up the car perfectly. But I honestly don't know why they bothered removing them, really, because you know, they could skip the practice section anyway. You didn't necessarily have to complete it unless it was like a research and development session. And even then, you just get the lap in and be done with it. So you know, it's not. I don't know why they bothered, to be honest. Just because not many people were using it, doesn't mean that it wasn't being used at all. But hey ho. Personally, I don't miss it that much. But you know, you've got the people out there who like to be authentic and you know, try and make it seem more like a simulation than it actually is. But yeah, that's Codemasters for you. So yeah, Alonso's closed the gap to 2.4 seconds. As I say, he's going to catch up anyway. 1, because he is faster, and 2, because he's on the fresher set of tyres. But we're holding our own quite well. As I say, I know this track pretty well, so it's been around for a long time without any changes apart from the final sector with that stupid little chicane at the end. But still, sort of know my way around here. I did manage to get a really fast lap time in 2011. Of course, I'm nowhere near that in 2012, but I do love driving this track. So when do I come in? When do I come in, I wonder? Is it this lap or next lap? I can't remember if the pit stop... there it is, yep. Yep, I'm terrible this morning. I do apologise. Because I'm looking at 2 screens. I'm looking at the news to try and find some little topics to talk about while this is going on. Because yes, I remember. Going a bit wide there, but it's nothing special. But yeah, I do try and look up different topics to talk about that are obviously related to Formula 1 and the game, because you know, when you've got moments like this when there's nothing going on, well, especially these moments when there's nothing going on, then you know, it's kind of useful to fill the gap in with something or something to talk about rather than just being in deathly silence. And there goes Alonso, flying Fernando, flying past. Red Bull's on his tail as I change my tyres. I don't really think much of the new camera angles on the pit stops. They're okay. And I just caught out there. I didn't think the end of the pit lane was quite so sudden. But still come out in front of Maldonado, which was my main target. I only have to finish 15th of my objective, so yeah, I should be pretty much comfortable to reach that unless something goes wrong. And obviously I have an advantage now because of my fresh prime tyres. They're going to be slightly better and grippier than all the other cars on the primes that have been worn a few laps. So hopefully I can catch up to Raikkonen here and make a nice decent move on him. Now I believe that's probably a bug. The engineer was saying that the car ahead has a puncture, and usually when he says that, they don't have punctures at all. I don't know what's going on with the coding and that, but that's definitely not right. Because looking at it, Raikkonen definitely doesn't have a puncture. He's still going around the corners at the same sort of speed. So yeah. Don't think that's quite right. Need to sort that out as well. But at least Codemasters are actually doing more fixes this time round than they did last year, I think. I don't really know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it's good that they're actually doing some support for the game, but it's, you know, the amount of fixes they've had to do is a bit disconcerting, really, isn't it? We should be able to make a move on Raikkonen soon. Just flicking the fuel mixture up to rich. Gap is under half a second now, so if I don't make a move on him anytime soon around his corners, I should be able to get him in the DRS zone. Now Raikkonen moving to the inside slightly to protect his position. But I'm right up on his gearbox now. Surely it won't be too much longer. Going to try and make a move into this tight left-hander. The reason I went wide there and had to lift off is because you do actually lose downforce when you're up against another car like that. And yes, moved up on the inside there to move up in front of Raikkonen and just behind Kobayashi. As I say, it is actually true in this game that when you're up against the back of someone, you do lose front end grip because of the fact you're in their car's dirty air. Kobayashi is trying to run maximum power, but it's not going to work. I managed to get the DRS on him, so got past him pretty easily. Now I'm setting the fastest lap, partly because I'm on professional and mostly because I'm on the option tyre in Fuel Mix 3. So 4.1 seconds to Grosjean. Oh no! Oh, I completely forgot about that. So I came out of that a bit too rich and actually managed to sort of nearly spin it. Sort of held it, went onto the grass, but it's better than going to the barrier, of course. Kobayashi's got the place back, and I just need to catch up to him again and overtake him. Shouldn't be too hard on these tyres, especially as their primes are wearing away ever so slowly. I mean, I've got like 3 laps to do it in, so should be absolutely fine as long as I keep my cool and don't do any more off-road excursions again. Now Alonso has set the fastest lap. He's beaten me by 0.004 of a second. And I can live with that because I'm not too bothered about getting the fastest lap in a Williams. So right up in Kobayashi's slipstream. Can't quite make the move on the straight, but I can do it into turn 1. Couldn't do it on the straight because I hit the rev limiter too early. I probably set the gear ratio a bit too low. So Yeah, that's cost me a little bit of straight line speed, especially coming towards the end of the straight. Which isn't going to do me any favours if the car behind me is in the DRS zone, which Kobayashi is. I mean, I need to pull up another 7/10 of a second on him if I'm to get out of his zone. Perez is now flying. He's done a 1:26.1, which is about 5/10 faster than Alonso's lap. Just a bit more, nearly 8/10. No, 700s, 6/10. Yes, I'm not a man of maths. I'm a man of English rather than maths. I can spell really well, but when it comes to doing sums, I'm not that good. Spent most of my school days copying off my friend Jamie, and somehow managing to be in the top class until right at the end, when I got discovered. But still. So yeah, we just managed to do it. Kobayashi is 1.7 seconds behind. Gained a lot of time on him on the last sector, and now it's set the fastest lap of a 1:26.04. Just about 500ths faster than Perez there. So not doing too bad at all. Looking good for a 6th place so far. Grosjean, maybe, just maybe I might be able to catch up to him on the last lap. But I'd be very surprised, especially when my driving is not picture perfect. I'm still on the rich fuel mix, so that's why I'm checking my fuel every so often. Quick flick of the information there. And Perez goes one better again by setting a 1:25.9. Another 10th up on me. And he's doing extremely well on those tyres, especially when they're primes as well, I believe. So, yep. Well, we all know the Sauber's good on its tyres, so I'm not surprised it's going really quickly. I do like the way Codemasters have sort of almost nailed the performances of the cars. Some users have reported things going a bit funny post patch. On the PC anyway. Their teammates finishing really high and back markers getting into Q3. Those sort of little bugs and tweaks that have come in since the patches. But they should probably sort that out anyway afterwards. I mean, they've reported it, and I think it'll probably settle down after a couple of races. Kovalainen getting in the way there. What a plum. Another back marker, Glock. See if he is blocking me. No, he's not. He's actually getting out of the way. Perez goes another 10th quicker than his previous best. We may have a chance to catch up on Grosjean here, but I think it's a bit too little too late because we are on the last lap. Oh no, that's not Grosjean at all. That's Marussia of Peak and De La Rosa having a little fight around the last sector. And I'm going to mess everything up for Peak getting in the way, and he got in the way of me as well, so... Oh, and something's gone wrong behind. I heard contact as De La Rosa goes wide. A lot going on in this final sector, but should be able to get past him easily. I don't want to do nothing too drastic, seeing as it's the final corner. But there we go. You made it through in one piece, just about. Even if Peak didn't, as I definitely heard contact behind me. So there you go. I finished 6th. Pastor Maldonado ended up 15th. Rather than the first he got in the real world. Fernando Alonso actually won the race, with Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel following close behind. Let's have a look. The HRT is actually beating the two Marussias and the Caterham. Lewis Hamilton did not finish. So, yeah, pretty normal result there, apart from the HRTs actually not being at the back. Felipe Massa down in 11th. So, yep, now 10th in the Drivers' Championship with 18 points. Fernando Alonso is at top with 95, followed by Lewis Hamilton on 83. Definitely didn't help that Lewis didn't finish the race. That cost him the lead so far. HRT still at the bottom, and Carter Kane is in 21st. Oh. And a Caterham is beating a Force India. How wonderful. But McLaren still have the constructors lead with 125, and Ferrari are just behind on 119, 6 points behind. Williams are in 6th with 30 points, 95 points behind Mercedes, well, McLaren Mercedes should I say. That's fine. It's a very good race for us. Really happy with 6th. Couldn't wish for much more. Maybe 5th, but I was no way I was going to catch up to Grosjean in that amount of time. But anyway, join me next time for round 6, which is Monaco. It's always a fun circuit. I'll see you then.